Morning. I'm going to bring a sort of unedited video for intervals today. I'm just going to get straight to talking about something that is on my mind. There's a lot happening in my life right now with work and changes and whatnot, and it is very difficult for me to be consistent for the few of you who are regularly tuning into my videos. I want to say that I'm extremely grateful to those of you who are coming back over and over again, that you see value in what I'm bringing, because look, I've had a burden for many years to share what I think are not, let's just say they're unique insights, right? That I have, the way that I look at things is kind of, I think, weird and unconventional. But like, I have the feeling that this is going to be highly useful to certain people, maybe whose brain works not like the how can I say, prodigies of math or whatever, where the stuff just automatically just files away right in their mind. And so I appreciate you guys coming back, and I hope that I can continue to bless your life in some sort of a small way. And in keeping with that, I think what I'm going to do then is, see, I love to create videos and I love to edit and I love to have that more polished feel, and I'm working on getting better at that. And I'm a bit of a perfectionist, but sometimes perfection gets in the way of actually getting things done. And so I feel bad because I've been making a lot less videos than I could have been making, right? And so ultimately I feel that hurts whatever audience is starting to try to learn from the concepts that I bring. And so I'm going to get back into more of the unpolished feel. I was doing videos like every day, and then my life changed, and then I couldn't do it anymore, of course, like as soon as you commit to something. But that's just what life is. And listen, like, as it pertains to learning music, it's the same way. You're gonna commit to doing something, and then as soon as you start to get the groove, things might change. Work might change. They might change the hours that you have to go to work. You might have different family issues that come up. You might have different health issues that come up. And so now you got to prioritize other things, right, over trying to learn how to play music, of course. So, but how do you still get it in, right? How do you still get it in? Well, try to pick one thing to work on and try to get into the rhythm of working on it every day for any amount of time. That's the best advice that I could give as an extremely busy, not an easy life person. I have not had an easy life at all, believe me. So, constant changes, constant surprises, and constant need to readjust. And so, look, we need to adapt. We need to adapt as we go. So, this is what we're going to do here, right? Let me shift straight into the intervals. Listen, intervals are kind of like, in my opinion, musical colors. You play a note by itself, it sounds, you just hear the tone, blah, whatever. It's when you start to add another tone, blah, blah. Now, it's those two playing off of one another actually creates a sort of tension, or I don't know, it's just something that happens as they're in the same space that creates a feeling or a color, right? And that's what I did in my last video. I went into this extensively. And so intervals, I think, is really the key to starting to truly be able to feel and understand music. And let me just drop this right here. I want to say this, right? After meditating on certain things for many years, this is how I feel about this one particular thing. When it comes to understanding anything, you can learn about it. You can learn about it in a book. You can learn about it in through practice or whatever, through trying to interact with people that are better than you at that thing. But ultimately, I believe the highest form of understanding is being able to internalize and to feel the thing that you're working towards. And so you want to develop the skill of not just understanding and memorizing intervals, but you want to understand how to feel them. Okay? And when you understand on the level of being able to feel it in a personal way, now you're entering into the arena where musicians who are more accomplished, who are farther along, where they dwell, where they... Listen, we're very feely people. Good musicians are very feely people. And I've known a lot of better musicians than myself, and they're, I don't know, they say in science that it's like the right side of the brain, blah, blah. I don't know. Like, all I know is that we feel it, we get it. And this is the muscle that you want to build. When you hear two notes in the same space at the same time, or back to back, or a string of notes, you want to form an opinion about how that makes you feel. What are you feeling when you hear two notes in the same space? And so this is the whole purpose. Like, who cares about knowing? Some people are different. Everybody's different. Some people want to know for, just to know, like trivia or whatever. That's cool too. If you want to learn trivia from me, cool. But I'm more interested in getting people to be able to express music from their heart. This channel is called Guitar from the Heart. I'm a guitarist, and the goal is to get guitarists to be able to play from their heart. How you gonna do that without feeling things, right? Without feeling the music. So I want to help you to feel the music. And if you're not a guitarist, it don't matter, because it's really about music more than the guitar, this channel. The guitar is just my main instrument. Intervals, let's give a definition again. Interval is the distance between two notes. So when I say la, and I say that's like a minor second. It's like the Jaws thing, na 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 na, right? Those two notes are a certain distance apart from each other, and it's called a minor second. Those are two notes that are right next to each other. So, like, going back to the sharps and flats series that I did, if the first note would be a C, and then you're going up by one note higher, the one note next to it, the next note higher will be a C sharp, right? Or a D flat, depending on how you're looking at it, whether you're in a sharp key signature or a flat key signature. Did I get up to that? I mean, I know I've done videos in the past about key signatures too, but it's C sharp or it's D flat, the same note, right? The same note that has two names. So if you go to an E and you go up by one note, let's say I go, do I know E by heart? I don't have perfect pitch. Okay, so let me see. No, I can't hear E in my head just like that. I mean, I would have to think about it like off video, but I can't just do it. Maybe something I should work on too, so I could feel it. Anyway, E, and then you go up by one note, that half step, which is called a minor second, it would be E to F, because there's no sharp between E and F, or there's no flat between F and E, however you want to look at it. And so minor second is one interval. Intervals can be bigger or smaller depending on how many half steps away they are on the instrument. So I'm gonna find time to go and do it on the instrument, show these intervals on the instrument, on both the piano and on the guitar. But for right now, it's just to kind of gain grasp of concepts, all right? I'm not gonna go too much longer in this video. I'm gonna make my video shorter. But intervals are broken down into the amount of distance that the two notes are apart from each other. And so the farther apart it is, the more notes away, so the more half steps away it is. One half step away, that is assigned a name called a minor second. Then you have two half steps away, two notes away from the note, your reference note. That's going to be a major second. Then you have three half steps away. They call that a minor third. Then another half step away from that, a major third. Minor third and major third is one half step apart from each other. The major third is called a major third because that's the note that's taken from the major scale. After thirds, you got fourth. Fourth is one note above the major third interval, which is called a perfect fourth. So let me break this down real quick. You don't have, if you're talking about the notes in a major scale, you can call the note of that's in the major scale, and it would be major second, major third. They don't call it major fourth, but it's in the major because there's no minor fourth, right? I'm gonna break it down, right? So major second, major third, you got fourth, fifth, you got major sixth, you got major seventh, and then you got the octave, okay? And that's all the notes in the major scale. Once you have those, you could say, okay, below the major second is the minor second, one half step down. Below the major third is a minor third. It's a half, minor third is a half step down from the major third. Fourth, fifth, and octave are unique in the sense that they don't have a minor. There's no minor fourth. There's no minor fifth. There's no minor octave, okay? It's just fourth, fifth, octave, so they're called perfect. I don't know, like when I play it, it sounds perfect. That's why no. I don't know why they call it perfect. Who cares? I mean, I've read why, I don't know, 20 years ago, but it didn't really matter that much for feeling the music, so whatever. I try to focus on knowledge that's going to help me to actually do things. So the major sixth has a minor sixth corresponding to it, a half step below. And for the major seventh, you have a minor seventh that corresponds a half step below the major seventh, okay? Between the fourth and the fifth, there's like a special note called the tritone, okay? That's actually all of the intervals. So for me, you could say, oh, so many half steps away is the major third. Then so many and one more half step away is the perfect fourth. Then one more half step away is the tritone. Then one more half step away is the perfect fifth. Then one more half step away is the minor sixth. One more half step away is the major sixth, right? And like that, all the way through. Let me just do it for completeness. One more half step away is the minor seventh. One more half step away is the major seventh. One more half step away above the major seventh is the octave. That's, hey, you know, that's a good understanding to have. Do you need to memorize the exact amount of half steps away each interval is? No. I don't know them. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna, oh man, I know everything. No, I don't know. I could memorize it in half a day. I got a great memory for stuff like that if I wanted to, but I have no need to memorize it. Like, why am I gonna do work that's not gonna help me? I wanna make music. I wanna be able to play music. That's not gonna help me to really play music. unless I find at some point it becomes relevant for what I'm doing, I'm not going to bother. So that's a key thing to understand, and that I would also recommend. Don't waste time on stuff that's not helping you to get to where you're trying to go. Focus on stuff that's going to be high yield for you, that's going to get you to your result faster. Okay? But I find it more useful to memorize. Okay, the major second, the major third, those have respective minor seconds and minor thirds that are half a step below. The major sixth and the major seventh, those come from the major scale too, and they have corresponding minor sixth and minor seventh below when you flatten those notes by 1/2 step. Put a flat symbol on them, okay? It gives you the minor sixth and the minor seventh, okay? Then you have the fourth, the fifth, and the eighth, which is the octave. All are perfect, so they don't have minors. And then between the 4 and the 5 is the tritone. And if you break it down like this in your mind, now you have all of the intervals. You know how to get from one interval to the next, and it's more functional for actually building chords and doing stuff like this down the line. Okay, so this is how it is. I'm gonna try to make it. I'm gonna try to I gotta go right now, work, but I'm gonna try to do these more unedited videos. All right, peace.